Okay then, last week of November. Let's see what we can do with you. So, Monday, I frittered away time, it felt like. I just got distracted by what was going on social media in reaction to the video that I posted, and then got into conversations. And whilst I did stuff, I didn't feel productive. Tuesday, back in, and despite a brilliant video by Gareth, who was showing off his mug, which by the way made my day. Anyway, despite the reaction I could see that was happening, I still turned that off to concentrate on the work I was doing. It's now just before noon. I'm gonna walk home and work from home for a few hours because my wife says we've got some deliveries coming. And while walking home, I did that thing again where I used the Otter app to dictate a blog post that I've been thinking about. It's such a good way to make the most of that walking time though. Alexa, play 6 music in the kitchen.
BBC Radio 6 music from TuneIn. Playing on kitchen.
Spot on! Spot on! It's been really nice working from home this afternoon with Susie Cat by my side, and only mildly sidetracked by the fact that some people online earlier were saying, can I buy a Being Freelance mug? Because that isn't why I got them, but it's something to look into, because obviously I've bought a job lot of them, and actually I would want one. Like, I like my mug. Pretty productive at work today. Still faffed around a bit. So it's Thursday and a really productive morning, finishing off the vlog, also finishing off a big edit and mix down of another big voiceover for e-learning. One thing I thought I'd mention actually is when I'm doing something like that, if it's a repetitive process like mixing something down, I go into Audition and create a keyboard shortcut. Because whilst, right clicking and then hitting that thing and then hitting that thing doesn't really take that long. If you multiply it across hundreds of files, it does. It saves you a lot of time if you create a keyboard shortcut. You can do that in Audition, so I did. But maybe there's something like that in your workflow that you can do. In London for the evening, and earlier today I realised that 5 years ago I was doing exactly the same journey, and I know that because it was my last ever day in my full-time job, and it was my friend's birthday, and we went out to the pub to celebrate both those things. 5 years. On the first day of Christmas, my sweetheart is with me. It's time to give away the biscuits on Twitter for Being Freelance. I've been worrying about this all morning because the trouble was the first week everybody enjoyed it because it was new, and the second week everybody enjoyed it because it was in the car park and ridiculous. Like, I can't help but feel it's going to be an anticlimax. I've set up my gorilla pod. Yeah, let's see how it goes. The winner of the Non-Employee of the Week Awards, Sophie Livingston! biscuits, come on! Some more people asking, can they buy the Being Freelance merch? It's so much to consider. I give respect to anybody who's ever opened any kind of store. Packaging, postages, transaction fees. If you've got any tips, it'll probably be something like, just don't do it, Steve. I have to get my slides for tomorrow's talk over to the organisers by the end of today.
This train is for London Liverpool Street.
So, off to talk at Birkbeck University today. It's part of a series of events that they're doing all to do with entrepreneurship, different ways of running a business and what have you. So good that they have events like this. I wish I'd had something like this when I was a student. And 0% credit cards really saved me. And well, that was such a good morning. I felt really good giving my talk from that point of view. But I really enjoyed listening to the other talks. And then we had a panel session. And it was really nice to meet some of the people who came up and spoke to me. I don't really know where I am. Just popped into the pop-up shop of a load of people who I met through doing it for the kids. The Facebook group for self-employed parents that I know I've spoken about on here before. So yeah, just showing them some support really. Spending Sunday just chilling because next week is going to be really busy. We've got the office Christmas party, I'm doing another talk in London, plus loads of client projects are starting to come to a head. So much so that just spending Sunday night writing down my to-do list so that I hit the ground running when it comes to Monday.